Good evening, I'm Alan Marston.
And I'm Debbie Cobb. Another round of wet weather is hitting the North State. Here's what it looked like a couple of hours ago in North Chico. Rain pouring down, and it's just getting started. There's a possibility of more thunderstorms tonight and even another tornado.
For the latest on the conditions, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Kuiper in the AccuWeather Center. Chris?
Yeah, we could be in for another active evening around the North State. Certainly been off and on wet weather across the area so far today. And we're noticing low pressure out in the Pacific pivoting closer to our area. And that should keep the activity going, it looks like, for us into the nighttime hours. Now, right now, a little band of wet weather moving here into parts of Glenn County and the parts of Butte County as well. Certainly a lot of wet weather here further to the south. This band back here is much more interesting as far as our thunderstorm threat goes. But one thing that's working against it is that by the time it does reach us here, I do think the sun is going to be pretty low on the horizon, if not fully down out there. And there's been so much cloud cover out there today as well. It's kind of hurt our thunderstorm chances. You can see on the broad vantage point here, low pressure off the coastline, rotating closer to us. It's kind of slowed its progress a little bit, and it's also driving more towards central California. So those two factors may mitigate the thunderstorm threat for us in the nighttime hours. Thunderstorms are still a possibility, although maybe looking a little less likely than they were at this time last night. Certainly wet weather in our forecast for us tonight, but not tomorrow. A much quieter day comes our way Wednesday. We'll start it off mostly cloudy in the morning at 43 degrees. Noontime, turning partly cloudy, and temperatures still kind of chilly out there in the upper 50s. We'll finish off our day with continued partly cloudy skies, dry days in our forecast for our Wednesday, and we'll get to the 60s for the first time in a little while. I'll come back in just a bit. We'll talk about a warm extended forecast, 80s coming our way here in a few days, and we'll talk more about the chance of thunderstorms tonight.
Thank you, Chris. State officials say California's snowpack is only a third of what it should be tonight, despite recent rains. The Department of Water Resources said measurements taken today in the Sierra snow have not been enough to reverse the ongoing drought. However, the rain has helped boost the snowpack's water levels. California depends on runoff from the Sierra Nevada each spring to see the state through the hot, dry summers. The results forebode a challenging summer for California farmers and many communities already facing restrictions on water use.
Parts of the North State are finally getting a taste of snow as well. Action News Now reporter Kai Beach spent much of the day on the ridge in Butte County. He joins us now from our Chico newsroom with more. Kai?
Alan, we went up to the ridge today to take a look at the snow and what it meant to the area. And while this wet weather was appreciated, it also caused quite a bit of concern.
Keeping it clear. We run all the way up to the snow line and back.
Gerald Vance has been working since 4 Tuesday morning, plowing snow off roads in Magnolia and beyond.
This morning it was quite a bit up there in Sterling. We plowed it out and we started getting a little bit of rain, so it looks better now and things are starting to melt off. Hopefully it stays this way and doesn't freeze.
Vance has handled road maintenance for Butte County Public Works for years. And after this year's record-setting drought, all this rain, and now even snow comes as quite the shocker.
This time of year, real surprised. You know, it's good though. We're glad to have it. I'm a boater, so I like to get out on the lake as often as possible.
And while this late-season rain and all this potential snowpack is good news for many, it also creates a lot of dangerous conditions.
People speeding, tree limbs, trees weighed down with snow. You'll find a lot hanging over the road. Sometimes come around the corner, somebody's stuck, and just not being prepared.
But Vance says Butte County Public Works will be prepared to handle this weather and all the challenges that comes along with it.
Now, Butte County Public Works say they expect this kind of weather to continue for the next few days, and they said they'll be fully staffed during that time to help clear the roads. For Action News Now, I'm Kai Beach.
Thank you, Kai. The stormy weather helped bring down a huge tree limb across Lower Honey Run Road and Butte Creek Canyon this morning. Part of a giant oak tree fell across the roadway shortly before 9 a.m., about a mile in from the Skyway. It closed the road for about an hour. Some of the limbs also fell across utility lines, so power was turned off to nearby homes while PG&E workers made repairs. Public work crews cut the tree into pieces so they could be removed. There were no injuries.
In other news, an early morning house fire in Anderson is now the scene of a possible homicide. A fire broke out this morning after 6 on the 3300 block of Thomas Road. Neighbors reported hearing several explosions before they saw flames shooting up from the roof. In a press conference this afternoon with Anderson police, it was confirmed there were 2 victims in the home, 1 male, 1 female. There is speculation that a 3rd female resident was involved there. Police say they do not have any leads at this time. Action News Now reporter Angela Musalam got an exclusive interview with the homeowner's sister, who says she doesn't know where her mother is.
We've tried to call all convalescent homes that we could to find out if my mom was placed in a convalescent home, but so far we haven't had any luck on that.
We'll have more on this exclusive interview coming up in our 5:30 half hour.
The body of a Plumas County teen missing for more than 4 decades may have been found. The cold case is getting a second look after a specialized crime dog picked up a scent of human remains. According to the Plumas County Sheriff's Office, 3 crime dogs have found a scent of human remains in an abandoned well located in Meadow Valley that could be connected to the 1967 disappearance of 13-year-old Mark Wilson from Meadow Valley. Wilson told his parents he planned to hitch a ride to Quincy to watch a movie. He would never return home. Plumas County Sheriff Greg Hagwood stated there is no evidence at this point to indicate those remains are actually Wilson's, but he's hopeful they can get a lead into this case. Investigators say the well has been there since 1926, and law enforcement officials plan on digging the well when weather conditions improve.
A Red Bluff man is behind bars after allegedly hitting a man in the head with a hammer. It reportedly happened Saturday evening on Monroe Street. The arrest happened early this morning. Detectives say they identified Jeremy Hamilton as the attacker at the 32-year-old Red Bluff man. His condition is not known. He was taken to the hospital and interviewed by police there. Now, Hamilton was arrested on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon, felony battery, and driving on a suspended license. He was booked into the Tehama County Jail.
The death toll climbs again in the Washington mudslide. 28 people are now confirmed dead after crews working in the mud uncovered remains of 3 more victims today. Jennifer Bjorklund has the latest on the long and difficult recovery effort.
A relentless search in mud so thick it's incomprehensible.
In some places, the depth of the debris and mud and dirt is over 70 feet.
And in the standing water left behind after heavy rainfall over the weekend, search dogs have alerted on possible human remains, the most difficult terrain to navigate, like quicksand.
The water's been receding and exposing new areas and helping tremendously in the search efforts.
And they will do everything they can to bring back answers to families.
We have a mix of people in the field. There are professionals from FEMA. There are a lot of community folks out there as well with absolutely no training.
While those are the ones who feel the need to keep working, they also have the hardest time with it.
They're finding their loved ones and they're looking for their loved ones, and that makes it even more difficult. We talked to a guy this morning who said, I know everybody I've uncovered so far.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. What a blessing.
To those left behind, another kind of effort, comfort, and the stuff of daily life.
It's just been overwhelming, the amazingness of all of our community members that have come together for us.
A community torn apart, mending itself back together into a new life after. 2 of the search dogs were showing signs of hypothermia over the weekend, so extra veterinarians have also been called in. Be on hand to keep an eye on them, make sure they're okay. In Arlington, Washington, Jennifer Bjorklund, NBC News.
An Australian official says the search for the missing Malaysian airliner could drag on for some time, a long time in fact. Today's search turned up nothing. The effort was hampered by poor visibility and rough sea conditions. The International Air Transport Association says the disappearance of the plane highlights the need for security improvements, both in tracking aircraft and screening passengers before they board. The global airline group said it is creating a high-level task force that will make recommendations by the end of the year on how commercial aircraft can be continuously tracked. Flight 370 disappeared March 8th with 239 people on board. It was bound for Beijing from Kuala Lumpur.